Let's move on to another favorite along this line. J.K. Rowling is now criticized for praising the dangerous anti-trans film by far-right bigot Matt Walsh. Is this the one that was the where they falsely tried to get trans folks to participate
Yes, it is.
under false pretenses?
Matt Walsh has released What is a Woman? I think that's the title of the actual documentary. But the movie has been released and the documentary has been released and people are watching it. In fact, my nemesis on TikTok bragged in a sermon about he and his wife watching it. You know, he openly said he watched it. So if that's not an endorsement, I don't know what it is, because it was during a sermon. But anywho, I wouldn't know anything about the persuasive power of saying something during a sermon in a church. Not me. But J.K. Rowling reached out to the Twitter sphere and said, endless death and rape threats, threats of loss of livelihood, employers targeted, physical harassment, family address posted online with picture of bomb making manual aren't mean comments. If you don't yet understand what happens to women who stand up to this issue, basically trans ideology, back off. Matt Walsh responded with, all of those things and then some have happened to me in the last month because of my film. But if I had backed down and crumbled to the trans activists, I'd deserve to be scorned for it. Cowardice is what empowers these people. Nothing will ever improve until people stop caving. So he responds to Bet and says, I respect the courage you've shown on this issue, but many people have simply caved to the demands of trans activists and completely surrendered truth and reality to them. The cowards are also villains in this story. They need to be held accountable. And Rowling responds with, and your film did a good job exposing the incoherence of gender identity theory and some of the harm it's done. Many institutions I used to admire have uncritically embraced this dogma, but I reserve my ire for them rather than shouting coward at individual women.